Hi, welcome back. I'm Lee Sharon, and this is Old Tavern Farm. Well, guess what, peeps? We did it. This is the last week of 2020. I know I hear the cheers. I always like to make something special for the first day of the new year. Breakfast, brunch, those types of foods. We're not really much for staying up late on New Year's Eve, but we do like to have a really fun day on the first day of the new year. So, Gretel's walking by. Keeping it real here on the farm. One of the things I make a lot of at work is cinnamon buns. I have always made cinnamon buns. I don't know when I started. It's been 20 plus years maybe. It's been a long time. But I make them for our retail cafe at work. I make them for special occasions, a plate of desserts even. And I also have a very special cream cheese frosting that I put on top of my cinnamon buns. I tend to do less sticky bun kind of cinnamon buns and more bread type, sort of celebrate the bread because, you know, I'm all about bread. But then I kind of crown the glory with the cream cheese frosting. And I have a special recipe that a friend, former coworker, helped develop. I took some of her ideas, combined them with some of my ideas, and came up with this particular formula that I always use. So I wanted to share my method and technique with you. This is the bread that we learned about, the sandwich bread, the easy, reliable sandwich bread that we learned about a few weeks ago. And I will put that in one of these corners. I'm still learning about YouTube, people, and video editing and all that. Remember when I started, I was like, I'm not a technical person. Well, in the last 8-9 months, however long it's been, do quick math in my head, I think it's been 9 months, I've sort of become a tiny little bit of a technical person. So yeah, so it's been a crazy year, and it's actually, even though it's been scary and challenging and uncertain and all those big words, it's actually for our family, thank you, has been actually a very peaceful, positive, really just a solidly good year for us here on the farm and within our immediate family. So I hope the same for you as well. But just take a look at that recipe that I'm going to put in the information card section, because that's the dough that you're going to use for this cinnamon bun. So I'm going to take you along and show you how to do it. It's not hard. It takes a little time, but all good things take time. And I'm going to show you how to do the special frosting for these cinnamon buns. And we're going to get started. So get out your bowls and your mixers and all that good stuff, and let's go make some cinnamon buns for New Year's Day.
Once I've made my bread dough, and it's had a chance to rise, I will lay it out on my work surface and slowly and gradually work it into a rectangle shape. I want my dough to be about a half an inch thick. And little by little, I will pull out the corners and try to make it as rectangular as possible. While I'm working the dough, it helps to pick it up and move it around, and not to dust my surface too heavily with any kind of flour. Because I've allowed my dough to rise, the gluten will be relaxed and it should move right where I put it. As you see here, it's about a ½ inch thick. Then I will take half a stick of room temperature butter and spread it thinly all across the surface of my prepared dough. I will then take 3/4 of a cup of white granulated sugar along with 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon and spread that mixture all across the butter-topped dough. Then, starting at the top, the side furthest away from me, I will start to roll back towards me, creating a long tubular spiral. I will just shape it and move it around to make sure all the sides are secure. And then, in order to cut the buns out, I will use a surprising kitchen tool, dental floss. Using dental floss lets me cut the cinnamon buns into nice round circles instead of using a knife, which can smash and pinch one side of the roll. Sometimes it gets hung up, but I just pull it out and start again, sliding it underneath the dough roll, pulling up, crossing over, and pulling to bring the sides together. This will cut the dough neatly in half. Now I have 2 equal portions. I will then cut each of those portions in half, and then I will cut those halves into thirds. This is just the size that I prefer. You can make these taller or shorter, or to any thickness that you prefer. I will dust back my surface and do the same thing to the other side of the main tubular cylinder of dough. I have a prepared pan here, our old favorite half pan with my pan riser prepared with parchment paper and a little bit of non-stick spray. The ends of the dough cylinder will be a little bit ragged, and I put those rough ends down and just give all of them a little press. Then I cover with plastic wrap and store in my refrigerator overnight so the gluten has a chance to relax. I'll remove it the next morning, let those cinnamon buns rise at room temperature, and bake them at 350 for 30 minutes. Now I'm ready for my cream cheese frosting. This is a formula I call a 1-to-1 type of formula. 1 stick of butter at room temperature in my mixer, followed by 1 8-ounce brick of full-fat cream cheese. I will let these work in my mixer for a few minutes on medium speed until they're well combined. Then I add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, followed by 1 cup of confectioner's sugar. This is technically a buttercream style frosting, so at this point I will let my mixer process on medium speed for several minutes until this mixture becomes light and fluffy. I will then scrape down my paddle attachment, as well as the sides of the bowl to make sure everything is well combined. Again, let it process until it's light in color and fluffy in texture. One more quick mix to make sure everything's all cleaned up. And I'll remove it from my mixer and set aside. Once my cinnamon buns come out of the oven, I will let them cool for a few moments before I top them with my frosting. And I will tell you, if you put this frosting on while that cinnamon bun is a little warm, that frosting will drip down into the spiral and just become so delicious. I hope you go and make your own cinnamon buns for this new year. Thanks for visiting.